Now we are. And now we are, Cole. We are live. 2024 second live stream. I am beyond excited you're here. Back from Kauai. First live stream was done in Kauai, on the island, as they say. Cole, I'm always here joined by Cole. Cole, spin around for the Instagram crew so they can see you. I'm just like, wow, I know that's not going to be handy. You got it. Whoa, that's Cole. Whoa, boy, so helpful. This isn't possible without Cole. I'm really excited. So I want to start today and talk about 3 boneheaded investing mistakes. I spend my day talking to real estate agents, real estate professionals, and business owners really about creating more wealth, creating more money in their lives. And I saw this article that I want to share with you guys called 3 boneheaded investing mistakes. And I thought it was interesting. Give me 1 second here. Cole, 6 life lessons. It's not 6 life lessons, Cole. That's going to crush later. All right, 3 boneheaded mistakes. Number 1, doubling down on a losing position. You that old saying, like, you're pot committed, right? You've got that bad poker hand. You're bluffing. They're drawing cards. Cole, am I screen sharing?
I think you're on the wrong screen share mode, which is okay.
Which is okay.
Click there, and then there we go. Boom.
And boom. Now I'm back.
Just like that.
All right. So if you're playing that bad poker hand and you're bluffing, you've got 10 queen off suit. I'm a little bit of a poker player, and the flop hits something, and I'm bluffing. I have no hand. I bluff on the turn. I'm betting more on the hope of the chance that someone's going to be out of it, right? The smart way to do it would be to take a guess, right? Run some math around how many cards are left. What do I think my opponent has, right? If I believe that, hey, they've got an ace in their hand, there's an ace on the board, there's a probability, there's a math equation around the likelihood of that remaining ace or the card they need being played on the turn, which is the 4th card if you're not a poker fan, or the river. And so in doing that, what do we do? The same thing in investing, right? We get a hand we don't love and it falls, it goes down. It might be a time to buy more, right? All the stock tip guys out there, which I don't buy anything in the stock market, they always say, buy the dip, buy the dip. When the stock goes down, you're going to start buying more of it. And I do agree with this article, which is, why do not double down on a losing position, right? If you've got an investment that's not going well, I am a fan of cutting my losses. I'll tell you, we flip a lot of homes, and I have a fun, like, we'll go out and do a massive remodel. We'll do all the marketing. We'll clean it. We'll put it on the market, and nothing happens, right? We're wrong. We just made a bad call. We valued it incorrectly, and we are overpriced. Some people will go in and, hey, maybe we'll go spend more money on it. That has not been my scenario. I have tried that. It did not work for me. What do? I lose. On a certain amount of flipping houses, on a certain amount of deals I do, I'm actually going to lose money. I hate to lose money. It's against my religion. I absolutely don't love it. But there's times where rather than doubling down on a losing position, I will cut my losses and move the money and try to find something better. By the way, we're going to go to your questions here in a minute. If you're out there and you want to discuss anything wealth, how to make more money, how to live the wealthy lifestyle, which is more than just money. That can be travel. It can be cool things like I am on my fluid surfboard still. Instagram will see because Cole's just doing a burpee to get that. That is the commitment that Cole has to just drop down in the push-up position. Make sure we capture anything. So if you got a question, please, whether you're on Instagram or you're on YouTube, please drop a question there. We'll come and grab those all here in a second. Next, number 2 bonehead mistake is getting caught up in a speculative frenzy. You see this all the time, but they use the example, which I'm glad they use crypto. They use the Shiba Inu. By the way, Cole, you don't know this. I don't like to brag. In addition to my Kronos or my crypto.com holdings that I like to think are in the tens of millions. Right now, they're in the hundreds of dollars, but should it hit, it's in the tens of millions. I own a little bit of Shiba Inu in my portfolio. I don't want to
diversify.
I mean, it's diversified. I mean, do I have?
You're just investing smart.
You know what? I actually want to find. Let's see if I can quickly pull up, Cole, how many Shiba Inu. I don't even know that's how you say it, so someone's probably making fun of me. But this was, if you missed the other stories, my wife said we needed to invest in crypto.com. Absolutely crushed it. Oh, cool. I do have my portfolio, Cole. Hold on, let me just make sure. Oh, right here, Cole. My Shiba Inu portfolio. Oh God, I don't even mind showing this. I don't like to brag. It's 0.0000009857. So you know it's good. Those are all my holdings. I don't even mind sharing it. A lot of people are worried about showing their crypto online. Like they're like, someone's gonna steal my wallet. I'm like, not this one, you won't. Not this one. God, hold on. I want to see. I got a, oh, and I'm earning on the side. Cool. I've got this in crypto earn, which gives me more. Again, I'm not knowledgeable on crypto. This is the fastest way I've ever churned $75,000 into $3,500.
You call that a tax write-off.
It's tax benefits. My wife's so smart how she did that. And lastly, they sell a winner way too soon. See, that's why I'm not selling my Chronos. That's why I'm not going to sell my crypto.com, because I got a winner. I'm not going to sell that thing too soon. Actually, my crypto.com relates more to number one. Why would I double down on it? I wouldn't. They sell a winner way too soon. If you get a great investment, and I will tell you, in the world of crypto, I have a buddy who bought a bunch of, I think I told that story. He bought a bunch of Bitcoin like 2010 or 11. It was like over 10 years ago, and forgot about them. Back then they were all paper. Turns out today it's worth $22 million. So, and that's what's going to happen with my Shiba Inu. And I also have a little bit, I don't know if you saw, Cole, I mean, geez, you didn't even know this. Did you see the amount that I've got in Sandbox? I got Sandbox. I mean, look at this. I'm sorry, it's not $3,500, it's $12,000. Look at these holdings, guys. I mean, look at that, Cole. I mean, Cardano, I mean, look, I've got a little bit of Sandbox, that's crushing it. Down a little bit. If you looked at from the peak, I did not, and I want to be an honest live streamer. Cole, I want to be totally honest with everyone. That specifically, it was 75,000 that went to 350,000, and now it's $12,000. I don't want you guys are, it's not 3,500. Fastest way I've ever turned 75,000 into $12,000, 475. Again, probably this is all going to get stolen because I just put it on the internet. But anyway, I thought I would start with those 3 bonehead lessons. So we're going to go to questions. Let me go back in here. Get in here. You're bluffing yourself. You doubled down on crap deals. It's an Instagram comment. Yeah, that is definitely. I've not found that to be. Not found to be the case. Kobe, we were just talking a little bit ago. Not a live stream person. That's a technical term. That's what everyone's doing. You didn't even know about my crypto.com holdings, which are just so vast at this point. All right, if you got a question, drop it in the chat. We'll grab all the ones on Instagram and post them here.
Marcelo says hi.
Marcelo, you say what's up? So I do want to share with you. We had a bunch of questions after our last live stream on Hawaii, and I'm going to go to. Hold on, let me get this open. Let me share here. So we had a crazy trip. I've been going to Kauai forever. It is by far my favorite Hawaiian island. It is like the last untouched place out there. But so we go kind of crazy. This is literally our lives. So we go, don't ignore that. No trespassing. Don't pass go, Cole. Don't even worry about that. There's about 9 more of those. As my Hawaiian friend says, Tab, he says, dude, that's just a scarecrow designed to keep the people that aren't supposed to be back there out of there. You're not one of those people. I'm like, what a great way to describe that. So we pack an endless amount of gear the entire time. Got my son out there reading, paying him to read, becoming your own bank. Yeah, pay your kids to read. That's I'm trying to. He has a life insurance policy that he's using to build up his cash value. Dad's currently funding it, but it's a cool model. We do this trip where we go over to the Forbidden Island. If you want to drop a link out there, Cole, I'm going to say the name, and then you're just going to have to search the Forbidden Island. It's Ni'iau. Pronounced Ni'iau, I believe.
You want to spell that one?
Niiau. I think it'll be in the range of it. So it's a Forbidden Island. This island was bought, I think I shared a little bit on the trip, but bought for like 10 grand in 1864. Went over there. That's just me being a ridiculous. Is this a monk seal? Let me see. Yeah. So you go over there. There's just monk seals chilling. This dude is chilling. This guy's a liar. I've never seen a human here for the last 5 days. They come once a day on a helicopter. Only accessible. You can go by boat, but the tour is only via a helicopter.
Change your mode real fast.
What do you mean?
Share mode.
Oh, I've got to go.
There we go. Okay, now you're good.
Yeah, we did a really cool. If you ever go hiking, Kauai.com is our guy. Went out to an epic with my wife, just frustrated that I'm filming stuff, laughing at her. Chased a little moray eel, little guy.
What's your idea on his faces right there?
Yeah, that's my kid just shoving his foot inside where the eel is. What's the worst that happens? Amazing story. I had a scar, Cole, on my left ankle, and my daughter, we were out on Poipu. There's the beach. There's the little island out you walk out to, and you go out there, and there's all these rocks around it. So all these fish get in there, and we used to go out there. We call it exploring, and you just flip over rocks, and there's the most incredible stuff out there. Well, my daughter gets out on a rock, and there is this green moray eel that's popping up. That's like snapping at her. She's screaming, and so I do the only thing, because I'm dad. I got to be a savior. So I go lift her up. Right, I'm holding on to her. I'm lifting her to the other rock, and as I'm doing so, I slip, and I fall on top of that moray eel, slit my leg open. Like, look at the scar. I mean, you won't be able to see it on the. It's not like it. Look, it's let's see it. I mean, it's not nothing. I mean, I barely survived. I mean, hell, who am I kidding? And so I come back. It's bleeding. It's like actually like open where you can see the bone. And so like I don't want to tell my wife that I just slipped on a rock on an eel. Like it's not that cool. So yeah, you just turns out little butterfly myself. You just kind of tape it back together. It's no problem. But to this day, my daughter would say I'm her hero, and it goes without saying. That was the end of the trail. All right, Cole, we're gonna stop that. Move back over here. All right, that was the trip to Hawaii. I talked a little bit about kind of how we, and actually Kobe and I were having this discussion earlier, but a little bit about points. And so you already have a spend. If you want to monetize it, what points has allowed me to do is just, no like pun here, but live a wealthier lifestyle, right? I flew to Hawaii this year in a lay flat in first class. Now, those tickets to go this year were about $4,000 a ticket for Christmas, and they come back right after New Year's. So that's to Lahui and back. And instead, I bought them with 80,000 Amex points, which I transferred to Hawaiian Airlines, and booked these tickets. And so what would have been for $4,000 tickets is 20 grand. And instead I needed 4,000 Amex points, 400,000 to do that. And so that, yes, you need, and to get those is like a spend of roughly, either if you're just doing 1 point at a time, there's better ways to do it, but that'd be $400,000. But probably the company spent $200,000 to $250,000 to do that. And the company spend that anyway. I'm not trying to go encourage anyone to get in credit card debt. But so instead of something I was just spending money anyway on cards, I was able to have a really cool experience with my family. And so that's what points and miles has done for us. We got to the year I went where I took my family my kids out of school, and we traveled the world. We did almost all the flights were free. Every flight was free, and most of the hotels I didn't pay for those. Now I saved those up for years. But I'll give you a couple examples here, just of how it works. And they won't be as good as the ones I just showed you because it's not over Christmas, and I can't show those because Hawaiian Airlines doesn't release. Cole, this is to be a nerd. They only release their flight schedule 330 days in advance. It's something you probably wouldn't know. Don't expire. Well, I'm going to leave that one. I'm not going to touch it. So if you look here, if you went and booked over Thanksgiving and you wanted to fly from Phoenix to Lahui, and you want to spend Thanksgiving in Kauai, it would cost you $2,527 for that ticket. You can see that right here. And now let's go, if you book that on points. So for some reason, it's more expensive right now, but I'll just show you this one in real time. Can I grab that? Boom. It's 130,000 points. You can see that here. And so a little math would show you like what return. Now again, if you're spending the money anyway, would you rather spend 20? This is not a good redemption. You're getting around, I think it's 1.9 cents per point. On the example I gave, you got 5 cents. So the better return you can redeem for, the more money you can make. And this is kind of like this points world is like this guilty pleasure where when I want to nerd out on a hobby, and this is super nerdy, I play around with stuff like this because it takes a little time and it gives me the reward is like some epic experience with my family. And so it's kind of where I play this game. But in this example, if I buy, every ticket's going to cost me, what did I say, $2,500. I'll redeem those and I'll go back in the same lay flats I went this year to go out. I'll save a bunch of money. And so it's one of those things that I think if you start looking at where are you getting your spend in this game, you can go to the points guy, you can go to miles to memories, And Cole will drop some links in there where you can read all these blogs. Do you have all those? Let me see, Cole. I may have to help. I am really.
Miles to Memories, easy. That's.
Oh, Miles of Memories. It's actually. Oh, well, I can't go there in the middle of the StreamYard. It's Miles of Memories is actually. If you search that in Google, it'll be the exact site. Cool. So Cole dropped those in there. But if you're interested in that game, I would tell you it's a way for you. Figure out where you want to go. Work backwards to see what points you might need to get there. I use a guy to book all this. Travelwealth.com is who I use. Love those guys. JG was actually booking a trip for me there. And so with that, Cole, before we go any more crazy point things, we'll have a couple. I'll actually let more questions go in there. If you've got a question, type in the chat. I'll show you one more example of something I did that was really cool on point, something everybody can do. We went to the Maldives, and I stayed in a beach villa. Now, when I went over New Year's, the rooms were like $2,500, but this gives you an example. This is here. It's $765. It is, you fly into the main airport. You take a little domestic flight. Then you take a boat an hour and a half to an island. This is the Park Hyatt Maldives, and you can go look at the images on Google. Check this thing out. And the points on this would be 25,000 per night for that same room. So you're getting more. Let's divide that out and see what you're getting. 765 divided by 25,000. You're getting like 3 cents per point on that. But again, it's a crazy amount on your spend. And here is, so let's just do a Park Hyatt Maldives images. Like this is one of those places where it almost seems fake. You're just literally an island in the middle, truly in the middle of nowhere. You just snorkel right out there, and it is some of the best snorkeling. It was really hard to get there, really far, but if you are ever in the Dubai, it's like 4 or 5 hours from Dubai. I would say go check this place out. It was absolutely epic. I want to show one more thing, Cole. The most epic experience I've ever had in the air is this, Cole. We flew Emirates on that trip to actually the Park Hyatt. On the way to Dubai, we flew, and the way to Malé, or however you pronounce it, we flew Emirates first class and lay flats. These tickets, this where this guy on the right with the mask, lovely COVID mask, is on there. Those tickets were $8,000 per ticket there and back, and we redeemed points. So that would have been $40,000 for my family, and I paid absolutely zero other than the taxes and transfer fees are several $100s per ticket. Almost nothing. So I've had these really cool experiences as a result of figuring out this game. I'm going to show you. There's a plane. This was supposed to be my plane and wasn't, which was super. It was a bummer because Cole. I don't know if there's anything cooler than going to a cocktail bar in an airplane. At 40,000 feet in the air. But in saying this was supposed to be the plane, I didn't get to do that. I want to go back. This plane, Cole, for if you don't know it, this actually has this has a shower in it. That plane. Mine did not. Mine had the biggest bath you've ever seen. They give you a bag. I still kept mine of like full bag of like toiletries like you would need for 3 weeks. They just give it to you like your seats like have like its own little beverage container. It's a total trip. The best food I've ever had in an airplane. I mean, almost as good as like a really, really nice restaurant on Emirates. It was. I spent a crazy night flying there, just having Woodford Old Fashions, Cole, and Woodford Old Fashions. You can't make it 2 plurals just because you put more S's on it. It doesn't work like that. All right, so I'm going to questions now. Am I staking my crypto? That is what it's called. It's called staking. It gets confusing for those non-crypto people out there like us. I am. I think it's called it's staking. And I understand the returns, but I think it's just hard for me to get mathematically past the fact that number one, I had $75,000. Number two, 45 days later, I had like $350,000, and then now I have $12,000. So it's a wild swing of emotions, Cole, in that journey there. If you ever want to go look at the Chronos or the Crypto.com history, just go look at that. When we look, it was like 2020, 2021, late 21, where it went from like $10 to $1. You'll find it when you look. You won't be very far. Cope draw the Niiwa. All right, what was a game changer for you when you were an agent? 2 game changers. First one was I had a mentor, and still a mentor to this day, Russell Shaw, one of the most dominant agents in the country ever is in our market. And when I got licensed in 2005, I went and saw him speak. A newly licensed agent, watched this guy on a stage, and everything he said, it just connected with me. He was who I wanted to be, who I wanted to become. That was the model of success. And so I wanted to go out and try to sit down with him, but like I got my license 11 minutes ago. He's the biggest agent in our state, like a celebrity. And so I came with this clever way. And so there's one of my favorite books or quotes says the only difference between who we are today and who we are 5 years from now are the books we read and the people we meet. And so I sent him a copy of the book that has that quote in it, and I sent him a check for $500, and it was blank. It was made payable, and I wrote it in the letter. I said, "This is to the charity of your choice, and all I want to do, I couldn't possibly buy your time, but I'd love to sit down with you. I just want to sit down with the best and know that I was there. And could I have 1 hour of your time?" And I sent it FedEx overnight. Signature required. That was the key, Cole. FedEx overnight. So the next day he signs it. He calls me up. My phone rings. Brett Tanner's Russell Shaw. I was like, "Dude, thanks for calling." And he goes, "I'll see you at Houston's tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Don't be late." And so I show up there at Houston's, and he comes barreling in. And he's just a big personality. He was a comedian in a former life. And he's like so funny. So he's cracking jokes the whole time. But we sit down at the table and we immediately got into business. And he looks at me and goes, "Let me see your card, your business card. This your business card?" I was like, "Yes." He goes, "Your business card's terrible. It's totally stupid. You don't have your picture on your card." And this is 2005. And so he's like, "People will remember your face after you've left. They'll interview 3 agents. 2 of the cards won't have a picture. Yours will. They'll remember you. They'll call you, get more listings." And he's like, "At the end of this meeting, one thing's going to happen for you. You will make more money. As a result of meeting me, it happens all the time. People that meet me spend time, they make more money. Congratulations, you're going to make more money." And believe it or not, this is going to sound crazy, Cole. I believed him. I left there. I was like, I think he's right. I'm going to leave here and I'm going to make a lot more money. And actually, it was incredible. Couldn't have been more true. And so at that point, he said, so this is getting to the point, which is what was the game changer. He said, "How's your listing presentation?" I said, "I don't know." And he goes, "I can already tell you." His words were, "It's shit." And I said, "Well, how? You don't even know my presentation. How could you possibly know?" He goes, "Because if it was better, you'd have more clients." That's how I know. And he goes, "You think it's good, but you don't even know what you're doing." And he's like, "How many listings you been on?" I was like, "I don't know, like upwards of 14. And he goes, "Dude, you need to go on 20 in a row with no intention of actually trying to get them." He goes, "Brett, you're a comedian getting stage time. I want you to go on 10 for sale by owners in the next week. And then I want you, just when you're done, go to the tour of the home, sit down at the table, give your presentation, and then fold your notebook up and walk out." And he goes, "So you'll have no pressure to take the listing. And at the end of it, you're going to," he's like, you're going to learn at the end of the 20 that there's only about 8 things that sellers can say. And those are the objections. And you need a really good answer to those 8 things. I'm not going to tell you what those 8 things are because you need to have the whole setup. And how do you set them at the table? And all the 2 problems in the real estate business on the listing side are, how do I get to the table? Meaning, how do I market and do all the things to get in front of a seller? And whether you're in the real estate business or not, usually it's getting to that face-to-face or that transaction point with your customer. The other part of it is, once I'm at the table, do I close it out? Right? Do I have the ability to get that transaction closed from a marketing perspective? And so his advice was like, are you putting the reps in? So my best advice would be, go get the reps in whatever you're missing. If you are thinking about hiring an assistant, go interview 20 people in a row, right? Go get the reps in so you've got a measurable amount of data and you could learn really fast. Second game changer for me in business was hiring the right person. I am blessed. She's probably listening today, one of our thousands of viewers right now. It's probably just fireworks are going off in the sky. My first hire was actually my best. I got very, very lucky that I hired Sabrina, who's been with me now 15 years as of a little bit ago. And that was it. I hired the best person ever, and my life got increasingly easier. And so now you fast forward, as much as my career has grown, she's grown that much as a person. So it's been cool. So game changer for me was doing the work and getting a model and doing enough to get the reps in to win. Number 2, find the right talent, right? And then figure out how to keep them. If you can find the right person, it could radically change your life. What habits? Habits that help me along the journey. The best one from where I came from, right? I came up in rural Colorado in a really rural, poor town. I don't say it to be poor. It's just the town is the poorest county in Colorado. So it's just that's a fact. I think the biggest thing I learned there is if you work hard enough, you could have whatever you want. And that's served me really, really well. That one of the things that I did a lot growing up was brutal, I would call brutal manual labor. And then everyone's like, oh, it can't be that hard. If you haven't worked 14 hours a day, like 7 of 8 of which throwing beanbags around, and then dumping trucks with, I mean, to like 14 hours a day in harvest, it's crazy. Like I remember when I was in high school, the minimum wage. By the way, I think my dad could get turned in for this. I don't think I got minimum wage. I was like, I don't think this is even legal. He's like, this is what they're paying you. I was like, but I mean they, you mean you? It's your company. He's like, yeah, so you're gonna get paid this. So I got $5 an hour. Okay, I'd work 40 hours a week in the summer. After taxes, my check was $154.10. You might ask, Brett, how do you know that? Well, because it's not a lot of money. It's not hard to remember. I had $154.10 a week as a 14, 15-year-old kid in the summers. And then I got to work overtime. So now, Cole, I would get into overtime by the end of the day Wednesday or the start of Thursday. So now I'm clocking it. I'm making $7.50 an hour. Time and a half legally has to be paid by my dad. Because if I didn't have to legally do it, he's definitely not doing it. And I was like, how do they even pay it out under minimum wage? Whole other story for another day. I'm not turning my dad in for inappropriate labor issues. I'm just merely saying, I think I was taken advantage of.
Use it on purpose.
And so what helped me? Hard work. I just brought that hard-working mentality. I brought the farmer's work ethic to the business arena, and it worked really well for me. So that habit, I would say the other one that's changed the game is being learning-based. The smartest people and the most wealthy people on the planet read 3 to 4 books every single month. So they're the busiest, most successful people out, and they're doing it. So what's your excuse? What's your reason why you're not doing it? Are you busy, caught up on the latest Netflix show or whatever? You got to read. I consistently read about 40 to 50 books a year. Do I finish all of those? No. Overwhelmingly, yes, but I throw away probably 5 or 6 cold that are just garbage. But I read a ton. I read around a given topic. Like I'm looking at what specific area do I want to learn more about. I see so many people that they read just the latest craze on the newest book, and I'll pick that up from time to time. But my main goal when I read is I want to learn and master a given area. Like if you went back 5-7 years ago, I want to learn the seller finance debt space. I want to learn how to create the notes, how to buy them, how to trade them. And so there's about 40-ish books in that topic. And so I bought every single book with the purpose of mastering that. And I've made literally millions of dollars from what I learned in those books that would be for free to public library. And so what 2 habits? I'd say just outwork it, get the reps in, and then I'd say be learning based. What is the best place to research points, podcasts, or books? We talked miles to memories. I would go to The Points Guy, go to Travel Wealth. We hit a lot of those. Top 3 things I'm going to do in Hawaii, but I'm going to answer it as Kauai. You got to go to the Secret Falls. It's like a 2-mile kayak with a mile hike to amazing waterfall. There is something about swimming out and having that just force of the waterfall like push you back and it's freezing. So I'm gonna do that. Another one is that helicopter tour to Ni'iau is insane. They don't do it that often. It's just weird being in a place that's been untouched by humans. And my other one is you gotta go your first time. You gotta go all the way to the north side, all the way to Ka Beach, and just look at this beautiful beach. It's all the way to the north. It's the drive up there through Honolulu is insane. So those will be my 3 things there. All right. What does it mean cents per point? Can I explain points to a beginner? So if you have a credit card right now and you're getting some sort of points and you haven't thought about this, you're likely getting 1 point for every dollar you spend. So if you spend $100 on dinner tonight, you would get 100 points in whatever that thing is. It might be and there's point currencies like Chase has their own points, Amex has their own, Citi has their own, Capital One has their own, and then there's with the individual airlines and hotels like Hawaiian or American or Hawaiian, American, Hyatt, all those things. And so each hotel or airline has their own points, and then you've got then the currencies. Now, some of like Chase and Amex will transfer directly to a Hawaiian, like Amex does, for example. So when you're building that, you want to think about which points do I need. But so if on a normal transaction, $100 equals 100 points. If I use a certain card on that meal when I pay, I can get 500 points, 400 points, 300 points, 200 points, or 100 points, all depending on which card. Like the Citi Prestige is 5x, the Amex Gold is 4x on food. The Sapphire Reserve is 3x on food. and there's a ton of 2x cards. Now, Cole, that might blow your mind that I just know off the top of my head, but that's because I'm a true crazy person when it comes to it. But if you go to those sites, and there's actually, I think, if you go to Frequent Miler, Cole, you drop Frequent Miler, and they've got like a points for beginners. It's like on their blog for free. Go read it. It'll give you all you need to know. What food do they serve on the flight? Like on that Emirates flight, it was like they had filet, short rib, like lamb. I almost wanted to see if they would do hibachi. Can we do some teppanyaki, Cole, up on that thing? I don't know if you can. I don't think you can. I will tell you, I've modeled a lot of my listing presentation off of his, and we've tweaked it a little bit, but it was an influence. He gave it to me. It wasn't something I stole. He's like, hey, this is the framework. Sellers care about 2 things. How do you sell their home for more money in less time, right? With the least amount of hassle. His brand is the no hassle listing, a very, very smart brand that he built. But I've learned so much from that man. Very grateful for him. How did I find the right person that early? Pure luck. Worst answer ever, but I had a landscaping business at that point in time that I had a partner that ran it, and Sabrina was my partner's brother's girlfriend. I know that sounds like sister's cousin's dog groomer, Cole, but it was my partner's brother's girlfriend. And so she was doing the financials for this bookkeeping business, and I would look at those financials and say, hey, where did you learn how to do this? So I went to a pretty good school. I'm like, oh, like where? I mean, I went to ASU. I don't like to brag, but I don't throw that around. And she said, I went to Berkeley. I'm like, really? How'd you graduate? She's like, magna cum laude. I'm like, oh, so you're a smart person. That's perfect because I like to fancy myself an idiot. And so I hired her, and I said, hey, I just have my phone rings a lot. I got basic errands. I got things I'd love for you to do. And so I had her doing those things, and pretty quickly, I realized I didn't have a job, right? I was literally doing personal assistant work for myself and calling it work. And so from then I put a headset on, I started hammering the phones, and the rest is kind of history. But she grew from that role, which was, hey, just, can you help me answer these calls or go, buy additional paper? I mean, it was a very, very basic role to today. I mean, Cole and I were talking about before the live stream. It's in all ways, she's my boss, right? She runs the business. I get to be on the live stream, so I get to do this and crush it. How do you keep them? That is a really good question. If at the end of your company's journey, I believe it should take care of its core people. If you've got a massively large company, you're not going to be able to take everyone with you. But I fundamentally believe you got to care about your people. And our company is literally called Be Wealthy. And so my intention is our core leaders and our people that are with us for that journey, that they are wealthy, and they are. We're living that mission out. So you've got to make it monetarily worth it for them. So once you figure out the money part, which is actually not the most important part, everyone needs to be treated fairly, paid what they're worth, and have a big opportunity. Beyond that, I think you've got to ask different questions. And how can you have random bonuses that come out at different points of their career? I'll give you, there's a book, you could drop it in here, Cole. Daniel Pink wrote a book called Drive. I think it's like the shocking truth of what motivates people. And that book really changed how I thought about motivating people. I always believed that if you just paid someone more money, they would do more work and do it faster. And research shows that's absolutely not true. It's absolutely not true. And so there's other things that people crave. And once they've met their necessary needs, money's like the number 7 thing on most people's lists. Now, if they don't make enough money to meet their basic needs, money's numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. But once they've met basic needs, money's number 7, and they crave things like recognition, praise, fun work environment, culture, a give back to the community. There's all these other factors that employees crave. And so if you can figure out what's going to light them up and become a part of that and help them live through that, I think you're tapping into something different because you actually care about the person. Now, to do that, you've got to want to get in a relationship and learn to love your people, right? Do you actually love the people you're in business with? So a random example, we had an event, and Cole's a part of this. We had a speaking event that was in New Jersey. And at the end of the event, we were going to stay at a Hyatt place, which loved the HP, and a lovely Hyatt place near the airport because we're flying out the next morning. And we've been like 3 or 4 cities and doing a bunch of speaking. And at the end of it, I'm like, hey guys, why don't we actually go into the city? I'd never been to New York City before, other than like flying through. It's like, why don't we go into the city? Let's get a great hotel. Let's stay at the Park Hyatt on Points. Not a Points reference, Cole. You were there. On Points. So we went to the Park Hyatt on Central Park. And I'm like, and Sabrina really wanted to see a Broadway show, loves that kind of thing. So I'm like, what's the number one Broadway show that you'd want to see? Buy the best seats that we can get, and let's all go do that. So we had an epic dinner. Gabby was there, who's part of our KW Wealth World, leads that for us. Cole, the four of us went on this amazing night. Now, I loved it. Full disclosure, I fell asleep in the first act of what did we go see? What was it called?
What did we go see?
We saw Wicked.
Wicked.
Wicked saw Wicked. I was thinking I was going to say something with an M for something. So we saw Wicked. It was unbelievable.
The second half was
The second half was incredible. I just need a little pick. I had just like 12 hours of speaking, for 3 days. But anyway, so how do you keep them? That one thing, right? I got to see the joy that brought to her, which actually made it awesome. I mean, I couldn't help but not fall asleep because I wanted to charge up for later. But I think ask your people what matters. Find out what's critical to their lives. How do you help them get there? And how can your company and your mission be a conduit to get them where they want to go? We got more. How do I balance work plus reading plus family? Good question. I read in batches. So I don't read like a book every single week. I went to Kauai and I have more beach time than any other time. I literally go to the beach every day. So for 14 straight days, I went to the beach, and every day I bring 1 to 2 books. And so in the course of 5 or 6 hours, I'm in the water playing the kids, we're doing our thing. But when we're chilling on the beach, I can read most books in that period of time. And so I went and probably read 7, 8 books while I was in Kauai, both including the flights there. And so I'll go in that batch. The other thing I'd say, at night, I read at nights. Like, so sometimes Taylor crashes out and I'll read for a little bit. I think you got to just figure out what your routine's going to be. But for most people that say they don't have time to read, I'll ask them if they've seen 5 or 6 shows. They're like, I've seen every episode of Succession. I've seen all of Yellowstone. I'm like, well, you've seen everything on Netflix. You have plenty of time to read. You just are choosing to do that. There's nothing wrong with that, but I think that everyone's got their E to E ratio. And your E to E ratio, your education to entertainment ratio. Like, what is that? Like, for every hour you watch Netflix or you're reading a book, I really hold myself to kind of a 1-to-1. Like, if I'm gonna watch an hour of Netflix, I'm gonna do something during that day that I spend an hour expanding my mind. So what's your E to E ratio? What's your education entertainment ratio? I think about that. And so for me, it's I kind of counterbalance the reading family thing. Like, again, when I'm flying for business travel, I plan on the Wi-Fi not working. I download any work offline, but once I blaze through the work, I always have a book in my bag, the next one up. And so the books, if I'm waiting somewhere and I crack out a book and start reading, I'm that hip old guy who's sitting in the waiting room reading his books. Frequent miler, we dropped that. And okay, I got that. Daniel Pink Drive, we are there. All right, I want to share one last thing. We talked about the 3 boneheaded moves. I found this article that I loved. It was 6 life lessons. 6 life lessons that actually also apply to investing. Now, I've got to fix this because Cole, don't yell at me. Don't yell at me. Most coachable person on the planet. As a coach, you got to be coachable. So 6. Cole, I'm doing the right thing, right? Yeah. Why are you looking at me like I'm a terrible employee? All right, 6 life lessons that also apply to investing. 6 life lessons. Number 1, uncertainty creates opportunity. We've had our most recent lesson on that, COVID. Right? If that didn't create uncertainty, I don't know what would. But there was a ton of opportunity. I was telling the story earlier. I had a bunch of buddies that made a lot of money in COVID that are so much smarter than me, because the minute COVID hit and the minute it became obvious that there was going to be pressure where people were going to be in for a period of time, they went up and bought every single stock in all of the things that related to work from home, like telehealth, anything that was online, technology. They bought the shopping thing. Like, it was just such a smart, like, what will people do? The first thing is they're going to be locked in their homes. They're going to be doing more, whether it's health on the line, whether it's, like I was thinking telehealth, Zoom, calls, and then they're like, oh, they're doing more shopping, so I'm gonna go buy Shopify stock. I'm gonna go Amazon because people are sitting there, they're gonna buy more stuff. Uncertainty created incredible opportunity. My friends absolutely killed it. Secondly, plan, don't predict. None of us has a crystal ball. I think when you think about the real estate market, or I think about whatever, I'm going to buy some stock, and I'll hear people say, well, what do you think the real estate market's going to do? Should I buy a house? It's like, maybe. Are you going to live there 5 years? Do you have money to put down? How relevant is the payment? How close is the payment to what that you're going to pay on this new home to what you're paying in rent? Does that make sense? Right? If you're not going to own a home for 5+ years of primary residence, I don't know if I would buy one right now. Right? So I would be thinking about those decisions. So I would plan, don't predict, no one has a crystal ball. Investing works like this. If you, the longer your horizon, the more the likelihood that you will be right. If you have a really long horizon, Cole, odds are it's going to work out. Flexibility adds value. I will tell you that for one of our investment companies on the flipping side, flexibility in a deal. If I buy a house that I know it's a great flip, I know I can just put it back on the market and sell it to an end buyer. I know that another person will be willing to buy that contract from me. I know that I can also sell it to an end user and carry the paper. If I have those 4 exits in a deal, I've got a real opportunity to make money. I've got way more opportunities than if I only have one way out, right? My flexibility creates the value. I see the people that get smashed in flipping go out and they're like, nope, I'm going to buy it for $200,000. I'm going to put $500 into it. It's 3-5 all day. Yeah, when it happens, it happens. And when it doesn't happen, you get absolutely smashed because you only have one way out of it. Harness the power of compounding. Cole, I almost feel like I wrote this article. Compound interest, I thought I understood it, and I really didn't understand it until about 3 or 4 years ago. Everyone gets the idea that if I invest $100,000 and I'm getting $1,000 a month, that's really, really cool, right? If your investment was returning that'd be 12% per year, $1,000 per month times 12 months. Now, how cool would it be if you thought about how, like, I love that. I want that 1,000 as it comes in to start making 12%. So that 1,000 that comes in invested makes $120 a year or $10 a month. Right now, as that $10 comes in, if I put that out, right now I'm making $1.20 a year, right? 10 cents per month, right? So then what happens over the course of 30 years? Well, something amazing. I mean, it's just the compounding of the compounding of the compounding. But what people get lost in is I think they're lazy with their money. That money is coming into your world, setting in your account for 5 days, 50 days, or forever with no plan to go back out because you're like, oh, it's only a couple $1,000. Yeah, but you could have gotten into something, right? There's lots of strategies. It's all about the velocity of money. One of my favorite books in this area, Cole, would be Banker's Code. Banker's Code. It won't tell you anything about banking, but the concept of velocity of money that I was just talking about, it'll absolutely show you, it'll show you how to leverage velocity of money in your life. Next, control what you can control. So much of life is out of our control. Weather, fate of our favorite sports team. I don't know if you're a sports nut, Cole. A national championship game was last night. Go Bulldogs. I'm just kidding. Michigan won. My kid's a sports nut. So just realize there's things you can't control. I always think about, like, at the end of the day, we're a speck of dust on a planet spinning around, and 3 generations from now, no one will likely know who you are. It's almost impossible. Think about 3 generations before us. I mean, Henry Ford invented the car, and you never even hardly think about it. That's one of the, now Brett Tanner, 3 generations from now, no one will know who I am. So why am I so worried about what the Starbucks barista thinks about me, right? It doesn't matter. I mean, I hope she thinks I'm awesome. But if she thinks I'm a piece of garbage, both those things are wrong. I'm not that awesome, and I'm not that terrible. Cole, I'm just right in the middle. Think about that for a minute. All right, Cole? Control what you can control. Tune out the noise. Never been harder than today to tune out the noise. There are so many opinions, thoughts, and it's easier for everyone to share their opinions, thoughts, and ideas and tell you what you should be doing. I would say make sure the people you're listening to actually practice what they preach and that it's real, but make sure you're thinking about what's absolutely in your best interest and not in the noise. All right, Cole, we're wrapping up. If there's any other questions out there, please type them in the chat, or we will bail a little early, which is not a problem. All right, I'll go there. We gave a couple books there, Cole. We crushed that. What items are you planning for currently? I wonder what trips. Is that you think that's points and trips, Cole? What do you think that is?
Yeah, the article. I'm not sure.
From the article, what items am I planning? Whatever that, we'll see if we get that answer, or if you'll type that back in Instagram, or what do you mean there, and I'll answer that. How often am I flipping homes? Do rates make me nervous? I've been flipping homes forever. We carry like 20 to 30 projects all the time that we're in the middle of. I love it. I absolutely love flipping homes. You have to price everything in. Rates have gone down, so it's actually helping us. Our market, and there's the number one kind of economist for real estate transactions actually just studies Maricopa County. It's called the Cromford Report. It's absolutely awesome. And he has an index that measures overall health of the market. So our market was going like this in terms of health, but now that it is creeping back up, Cole. So I'm not worried about flips. As long as you buy right, you get construction done on time. The market doesn't. Our target is to get money in, money out in 120 days, and the market just doesn't move that quick. So if we buy right, price it right, we should be in and out and unaffected by the market overall. Cole's got a link there for something we shared. Who do I listen to for new information? Ooh, good question. I don't watch the news. I do read specific articles. I try to understand what's happening with policy. It's super nerdy, but I actually want to understand. I want to watch the Fed when they're having those meetings or watch the recaps of that, how they actually state things, not how the news reports it. So for information, I try to get as close to the source to verify it as much as I can. I want to be without any media spin on it. So I try to just go to actual sources if I can get that information. And then I look at the overall economy. Like I want to know what's going on in the stock market, even though I may not play in it. So I have a few podcasts from the business side of things. I like Main Street Business. I listen to a handful of podcasts that keep me kind of in the loop on the news. Then the basic stuff, Rogan, Cole, that kind of. What were the books you recommended again? We talked about
Banker's Code was one.
Daniel Pink Drive, Banker's Code, George Anton. I'll see if I can think of the other. I think I dropped another one. And I'll tell you this podcast I like that I think does an amazing job. It's called All the Hacks podcast. And I will give you, I've got let me see what else I listen to. My podcast app here. Call me. The Money Mondays. Dan Fleischman's. It's great. Real Estate Investing for Cash Flow with Kevin Bupp, B-U-P-P. I listen to Tim Ferriss. I listen to that guy, All the Hacks.
Big Colin Samir fan.
Big Colin Samir fan now, but they're not in my app. Maybe you get what I'm saying. Yeah. My latest is I'm a content creator / YouTuber / live stream person, which is going to be the term that everyone's going to be using. Like everyone's going to be like, oh my God, are you a live stream person? I listen to Colin Samir. Think Like a CEO, Gary Keller. I love that. And Wealthability, Tom Wheelwright. I like that. The Knowledge Project is also Matt. Like the Knowledge Project does an amazing job on a variety of topics. So, all right, with that, it is our second live stream 2024. Cole, you want to wrap? We ready to wrap? We'll wrap it up. I'll see you guys back here next week, 4 o'clock. See you here.